Imagine a quiet neighborhood in northern Argentina, the kind where everyone knows each other's names, where gossip flows faster than the wind. Now imagine that inside one of those modest homes, behind a faded front door, lies a secret so gruesome that even seasoned detectives struggle to talk about it. Bags filled with human remains, bones stacked like discarded firewood, a severed nose wrapped in plastic. This is not a scene from a horror film. This is reality, and the man accused of orchestrating it all is now known to the world as the Machete Man. Welcome back to Digital Dread, where we uncover the darkest corners of true crime. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button now because you won't want to miss the stories we bring to light. Stories that most people can't even believe are true. It all began in the provincial city of San Salvador de Jujuy, a historic region in northern Argentina known for its colorful mountains, lively markets, and colonial charm. But beneath the surface, in a modest home tucked away on a side street, something sinister was festering. Neighbors had long whispered about the man who lived there. He was quiet, kept to himself, and yet strangers were often seen entering his home. Strangers who, according to those same neighbors, were never seen again. Rumors swirled, but without proof, they remained just that, whispers in the wind. That changed when a terrified 16-year-old boy walked into a local police station. This was no ordinary witness. This was the suspect's own nephew. Shaking, barely able to get the words out, the teenager told officers that his uncle had been killing people, mostly homeless and vulnerable individuals, and hiding their remains inside the house. He described the horror in chilling detail, saying he'd seen bags of bones, rotting flesh, and, in one unforgettable instance, a human nose. Imagine being a teenager and living in a house like that. Viewers, I want you to think about this for a moment. What would you do if the very person you trusted was hiding such a nightmare right under your feet? Let me know in the comments. Would you have had the courage to come forward? Police wasted no time. Within hours, investigators were at the suspect's home. As soon as they stepped inside, the smell hit them, a putrid, unmistakable stench of death. In one corner of the living room were garbage bags piled high, and when officers opened them, they confirmed the nephew's story. Bones, skin, and that nose wrapped tightly as though it had been preserved for some unknown reason. Other rooms in the house contained machetes and knives, some stained with what appeared to be blood. Forensics teams in white suits and masks moved methodically, collecting evidence, photographing the scene, and marking every grim discovery. The suspect, a 37-year-old man whose name authorities have not yet released, was arrested on the spot. It didn't take long for locals to start calling him the Machete Man, a name that would dominate headlines across Argentina and beyond. Witnesses described him as reclusive but polite when spoken to, someone who blended in well enough that most never suspected he could be capable of such atrocities. But according to his nephew, this wasn't a sudden spree. It had been happening for a long time. Victims were lured in with offers of food, shelter, or money. Once inside, the door would lock, and they would never be seen alive again. The victims, police believe, were primarily homeless, elderly, or otherwise vulnerable. People whose disappearances might not be immediately reported. It's a tragic but all too common pattern in the world of serial crime. Predators often target those society overlooks. Every victim here had a name, a history, and people who cared about them, even if the world at large didn't notice when they went missing. That's why DNA testing is now at the center of the investigation, as authorities work to match the remains found in the home to missing persons reports from across the region. The nephew's account adds a deeply disturbing dimension to the case. According to him, his uncle didn't try to hide what he was doing from him. In fact, he would sometimes return home with victims in broad daylight. The teenager lived in constant fear, worried that speaking up could cost him his life. Imagine the psychological toll of that, sleeping in a house where you know people are being killed. It's hard to fathom, and it raises questions. Did the nephew ever help, even unintentionally? Did he try to warn anyone before? Police are still questioning him, but so far it appears he's being treated as a witness, not a suspect. As for motive, the picture remains unclear. Some speculate this was purely sadistic, that the Machete Man took pleasure in killing and dismembering his victims. Others believe there may have been financial reasons, such as selling body parts on the black market. There are even whispers of ritualistic killings, though authorities haven't confirmed anything of the sort. What we do know is that the level of organization suggests a methodical killer, not someone acting on impulse. If that's the case, how many victims are we really talking about here? Could there be bodies hidden elsewhere? That's a chilling thought, and one that investigators are surely considering. True crime fans will notice that this case has unsettling parallels to some of the most infamous serial killers in history. Pedro Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes, preyed on vulnerable victims across South America in the late 1970s. Like Lopez, the Machete Man appears to have operated with terrifying efficiency, slipping under the radar in a community where everyone thinks they know everyone else. But Lopez was eventually caught because people began connecting missing persons cases across borders. In this case, we're looking at a man who may have kept his killing contained to one area, making detection even harder. The arrest has left the community shaken. San Salvador de Jujuy is not a city used to this kind of violence, at least not on this scale. Local media have been swarmed by international outlets looking to cover the story. Interviews with neighbors paint a picture of disbelief, many saying they can't reconcile the polite man they occasionally greeted on the street with the monster described by police. Others now recall moments that, in hindsight, seem like warning signs. The smell of burning meat at odd hours, the heavy black bags carried out under the cover of night, the fact that some of his visitors never seemed to return. Investigators are combing through missing persons reports going back several years, not just in Jujuy but in surrounding provinces. If the DNA results confirm what many fear, the body count could rise significantly. This could place the Machete Man among the most prolific killers in Argentine history. And here's where I want to hear from you. Do you think this was the work of a lone predator, or could there be more people involved? Could this have been part of a network? Your theories might just point us toward the truth. The trial will likely take months, maybe even years. But one thing is certain, the details that emerge will be hard to forget. Every testimony, every forensic finding will paint a clearer picture of what happened behind those closed doors. And here at Digital Dread, we'll be following every update. If you've made it this far into the video, you're the kind of viewer who wants the unfiltered truth. So make sure you're subscribed, because we'll be bringing you more than just headlines. We'll bring you the full, chilling story. Cases like this are a reminder that evil can hide in plain sight. It can smile at you on the street. It can wave from a front porch. And sometimes it's only revealed because someone found the courage to speak up. That's what happened here. A teenager's bravery may have stopped a killer before he could claim more lives. It's a small glimmer of humanity in an otherwise horrifying tale. So what do you think? Was the Machete Man a lone wolf, or part of something bigger? Was this about power, money, or something darker we haven't even considered yet? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and your thoughts might just help us piece together this disturbing puzzle. Don't forget to like this video if you found it eye-opening, and share it with a fellow true crime fan who needs to know this story. And above all, subscribe to Digital Dread so you don't miss our next dive into the shadows. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.